In this video, we're going to learn how to use JavaScript to change HTML content. First of all, let's create a new file and call it change HTML content. And we're going to import the content from a file in our CSS chapter. And it's going to be the div and span file. Okay. And let's change the title to change HTML content. And refresh our live preview. So what we're trying to achieve here, so we want to create a button, and when we click on the button, we want the Facebook div content to change. So let's go ahead and create this button first, following the Microsoft div. And let's put some text there, change Facebook content. And let's give it an ID, because we're going to be referring to it in the code using the getElementsById method. And let's give it an ID of button 1. Okay, now we're going to write our script. So first, what we need to do, we need to access the button and then say, in the event of clicking on the button, change the contents of the Facebook div. So we're going to use the syntax document getElementsById, and it's going to be button 1. Okay, and then the event is onClick, and the function we want to execute is the following. So we want to access the Facebook div using the ID. So document getElementsById. Okay, so we see here that Facebook div doesn't have an ID yet. So let's create an ID for it and call it Facebook. Okay. And now to change the content of the HTML element, we need to use inner HTML. So basically, inner HTML, if we change the inner HTML, that means that we're changing the whole content of the element. So what's going to happen here is anything inside the div tags of Facebook is going to be changed and replaced by whatever HTML code we're going to write between those two quotes. Okay, so let's try a paragraph, for instance, and put some text there, Facebook. See what's happened. So again, what we put in here is HTML code, so it's not necessarily text only. Okay, it could be a paragraph, it could be a list, could be anything. All right, so let's refresh the page and click on the button. So it is working. So now everything inside the div tags of Facebook has just changed to this new paragraph. Okay, let's try something else with the Apple div. So let's create a new button. Okay, and let's put some text there. And let's give it an ID. Button 2. Okay. So we're going to be accessing the Apple div later on using the getElementsById, and we need to give it an ID as well. So now let's write another statement. Okay, so document getElementsById. So we want to access the second button, and the event is onClick. Okay, you can try on double click as well if you want to. And now we're going to be executing the following function, which is going to be accessing the Apple div. So syntax is document gets elements by ID, and we want the ID of Apple. And we are using the inner HTML again to change the content. So this time we're going to try something different. We're going to try an unordered list. So let's build a list. Let's add some items. Okay, let's use some comics. Audi, BMW, and Mercedes. Let's refresh the page and try the button. So if we click once, it doesn't work because we have the on double click. So we're going to click twice, and now it is working. You can see the content has just changed to the list, and also the Facebook button is also working. So we have learned now how to use JavaScript to change the HTML content. It's pretty easy. We just need to make sure that we use the getElementsById method in the proper way, choose the right event, okay, and also bear in mind again that the inner HTML is not necessarily text, so we basically put any HTML code between our two quotes. All right. In the next video, we're gonna learn how to use JavaScript to change HTML styling.